Welcome to Love Bite.
My wife and I had an argument on October 26th. We haven't been able to see each other since summer of 2019, and with COVID it was shaping up to be a little longer before we could. Things had been coming to a boiling point that month, and she had a rather hard week ignoring me / making excuses on why not to talk. I figured she was going through a rough week and just wanted to talk about it. She just got angry and we argued sometimes, but we always bounced back. She ended up hanging up on me that night and started to soft ghost me. For the next 3 brutal weeks I tried to talk to her about things, and she was cold and consistent about suddenly wanting to end things. She had done this before. Her anger would control her and she would mention divorce, but after a week or 2 we would talk it out. We had always come back from arguments before and became stronger for it, but this time felt colder, meaner. I couldn't sleep, barely ate, cried for hours a day, and constantly felt sick to my stomach because of anxiety. On the 16th of NOV, I discovered she had been seeing a guy close to her. I found this out by a shared Steam account we played games on together, and he was freshly added. I did some sleuthing and found him on Facebook and discovered that he lived an hour away. I knew at that point she had been seeing him. On her break that day, I asked about him, and she admitted to a sexual relationship. She got off work early because was she distressed, and we talked on the phone for an hour and a half. It was a good heart-to-heart that we hadn't had in a long time, and it felt great to connect with her again. She has anger issues and will always hold things inside instead of bringing them to me. It's been hard to deal with that for so long. She told me she had only been seeing him for a few weeks since our argument, and I believed her. I couldn't have been more stupid. I had been messaging him on Facebook trying to figure out how long this had been going on, and he would give vague answers, but it was somewhere between a few months but not anywhere close to a year. She had lied about the time frame, and she had lied about seeing him again that night, which he informed me was happening. He pleasantly took the time the next morning to flame me and said that she had told him I was a mistake from her past, among many other cruel things to make me look bad. That's when my heart broke. I didn't respond well and lashed out at both of them on Facebook, calling him scum and how he was actively ruining a marriage when he should know better, because the same thing happened to his 9-year relationship earlier this year. I blasted her on Facebook and immediately got a nasty message from her aunt calling what I had done unforgivable, and I was showing my true colors. She was so quick to paint me as the bad guy, and I lashed out at her also. Anger was the only thing keeping my anxiety from taking over, and I was enjoying holding on to it. After that, the ghosting began. I tried to reach out to my wife any way I could, tried to bargain and reason, and when I got ignored I would get angry and call her out for treating me so badly. Nothing worked, and it only got worse. It's been the longest week of my life, and I'm still ignored. Nothing in my life could hurt more. It may sound like the dumbest thing ever, but we believed that we would always be together and we were soulmates. Through thick and thin we pushed through to make it to 7 years, and for her to just give up and ignore me was never something I thought possible. I could write an entire book how amazing and soul-binding the years have been with her. Our love was so pure and strong, we both always came back to that foundation. We have had our issues in the past, and it had been 2 years since those, and now everything has fallen apart suddenly. I've suffered from separation anxiety since October 26th, and it had started to get better last week until I found out about him, and it started all over again. I'm ghosted by her entire family, him and my wife. I sit here and deal with my anxiety the best I can. Am I crazy for wanting some closure? For wanting her to give him up and just come back to me? She even admitted that night I confronted her that she thought we were soulmates and we had a great bond, but she kept being negative, saying things like, "All good things come to an end." I'm torn because I can't keep doing this to myself, but I can't stop thinking about all the good we have had. I've tried to show her that it's still there and what we've had, but it's just day after day of ghosting. How could she do this to me for someone so new? I have plenty of guilt and shame for not doing things better, for getting angry, and for overwhelming the situation searching for answers. I just never imagined, after all we have been through and knowing that when we're together it's the best we have ever had, that she would do this to me. She was always the one asking me to stay with her forever because she was scared I would find a local girl, and now this. Why can't I stop being hopeful? Why can't I get through to her on things I know she understands about us? Why can't she just see that she is letting him fill the void that was supposed to be for me? Why is he better than me? We had promised to see each other soon, and we even made plans a week before all of this happened. Then finding out that she has been having sex with him for months. I don't know what to think. Was she just slowly letting me go on her terms, or was she trying to get her cake and eat it too? I feel like I should be able to shake this off and realize how abusive it's been, but it's the opposite. I wish I wasn't the kind of guy who always looked for a solution, the right thing to say or just being positive, but I've had to be to make it work this long since she has been an angry mess for years. She told me just a few months ago that she loved me and was so thankful she had me because I could bring her back from her angry hell every time. So how could she do this to me? Everything hurts so much lately. I break down the entire day because a simple thing reminds me of her or I think of her with him, and it's just such a sad, heavy story, and I really don't like being at the bad end of it. I sit here and think about how the future might look if she ever comes back. I can't even think of loving another person it was that strong between us. I have no closure. I have no connection to my wife/soul mate anymore, and she is letting her anger destroy us. I've never felt this lost in my life.